Welcome to Secrets from the Saddle podcast. I'm Sylvie D'Aoust, your host, fellow cyclist, bike club founder, cycling coach, bike race junkie, just truly super passionate about cycling. My journey with cycling started 20 years ago when I opened a spin studio, started a women's race team, and founded a women's only cycling club called Cycle Fit Chicks. I'm super thrilled to reveal all aspects that make the world of cycling operate. I'm so excited to be able to bring you interesting people from around the world, pro cyclists, recreational cyclists, coaches, event organizers, bike shop owners, everything and everyone you need to know or ever wondered about when it comes to cycling. I know you'll enjoy this episode. Hey, beautiful people. Welcome to another episode of Secrets from the Saddle, All Things Cycling podcast with your host, Sylvie D'Aoust here. And oh my gosh, December 24th. Ooh. Yes. If you're catching this on December 24th, God bless you for listening in. I promise is going to be a quickie, but nonetheless, you're going to need these 7 tips, 7 tips to help you stay on track over the holidays. And I'm telling you, not starting off to a good start myself. Got a box of chocolates, and I'm always of the opinion that I should just finish them up and get them out of the way. Is anybody else like that? I'm just like, I'm gonna just chow them down now, and they won't be here anymore. I won't be enticed by them. So, but I think I might have to get rid of these ones. Anyways, besides me eating them or just cycling more, getting on my bike. So, but before we get into it, I just want to thank you so much for an amazing year. I'm going to thank all my guests if they're listening. Without them, this wouldn't have been an amazing experience. I can't wait to next year. And to all you listeners, I'm so grateful. This project, I didn't really get into details last episode, last Friday when I was putting out my episode, but this vision of mine to have a podcast started like 2 years ago. 2018, I think it was, in the winter. And I was like, you know what? There's nothing that I can see that really showcases just everything that the cycling world is about. And you know what? It's not just about the Tour de France, and it's not just about pro racers, and it's not about group rides and things like that. Like cycling, the world of cycling is made up of so many different components, from your bike shops to the people who design bikes and all the gear that we put on our bikes and on our bodies, and, leaders in different, like in the gravel and bicycle packing, and the coaches and the, like, everything that just makes cycling the thing that it is. It's just amazing. So I was like, well, there's nothing really like that. So I'm like, I want to start a little series of interviews, and they started live. So what I would do locally is I would just go around. I asked my friends who own bike shops if they would do interviews with me, and just talking about their niche in the cycling world, or what they did specifically, and it kind of went from there. I did like one, I think it was like one a month or something like that, and then it came to August, and our family went away for a month drive around the United States, which is pretty cool. It was a really good time. A lot of driving, 11,000 kilometers, and it just stopped. So then I was like, you know what? So that was like 2018, 2019 rolled around. I'm like, you know what? I really want to get this started again. And I think it was until 2020 in the winter, in January, that I started lives again, and then COVID stopped everything. I was like, shoot, what the hell am I going to do? Because I just really wanted to keep going. And I was like, well, maybe I can make this into a podcast. And I thought about it. And let me know if you resonate with this, that, you just think about things and sometimes it just never happens. You think about them for years. And so what I did is I'm like, I'm never going to get this started because I didn't even know the first thing. So I hired someone. I gave myself a deadline. I had all the older, if you've listened at the beginning of my podcast, you would have caught some of the older and very first interviews that I did that were on site. So YouTube would have been a great place to watch these because, on location is kind of cool for some bike shops. And I used those to launch my podcast. And then January, I interviewed like 25 people. It was ridiculous, which got me rolling. And I've kind of been doing that ever since. So that's kind of my mission, is just to bring more cool people to the forefront for my listeners, which you guys are in like 38 different countries. And also to build it, I won't lie, build into a bit of an advertisement area and monetize it a bit that way. So, but truly, the people that I have met in this last year, like some of them are going to be catalysts in what I do moving forward. And next year is just going to be a phenomenal explosion for me. I'm not going to tell you what I'm going on, but I will definitely keep you abreast every Friday as to what I'm working on. And it's a partnership. And I don't know about you, but in entrepreneurship, I've just kind of made a realization that I'm just not an online program person. Because I had a spinning studio for 8 years and I really loved being around people, and naturally I'm an introvert, believe it or not. I pushed myself out of my comfort zone a whole lot to start that studio and to build it to where it was, and just teaching so many people and having such great times, and especially the mom and baby boot camps and the morning boot camps, and everything was around cycling of some sort. So, I just realized that that's where I'm meant to be, is to teach and coach people about cycling. And online's great because I get to impact people globally, and I'm going to continue doing that, but really it's the one-on-one thing that I'm going to migrate back to. So that's a little tip or a little hint. So with regards, and so, I just see myself being in cycling for a long time. I think, if you guys plan your next 3, 5, 10 years, I'll tell you that, for the next 10 years, I'll be immersed in cycling. And then my husband and I plan on kind of doing a little retirement for our 60s. So, 50s are fun times, building money, building enterprise, things like that. And then our kids are going to be into university, and we're just going to have more time. So yeah, have you guys planned like that? Like, it's fun. It's fun to think about that far ahead and put together things in place that are going to drive your future. Anyways, but this is the time to think about things like that. We're into a new year. Like, what's your new year going to look like? Are you still like, riding the COVID train and the pandemic, or have you finally just released that, and that it's something that's not going to go away? And I don't know, you can crucify me for saying that, but the thing is, it is not going away. As you see, it's a more robust flu, and yeah, don't crucify me, but things is just, I think it's just something we're going to have to work with and deal with. And so it's just not going away. So we need to start looking past that and how we can keep ourselves moving forward, engaged, motivated, positive, and increasing our health, building up our immune system so that we don't get sick, managing stress. And that's where this 7 tips is going. You know, and I'm just like, but before I get into that, don't forget that I always have free downloads at sylviedao.ca or askcoachsylvie.ca. And there's a bunch of free downloads there. They're all cycling related. You can go and pick one. My favorite's probably the hill climbing drills or the pedal stroke efficiency, or my bike maintenance recording is a really good one. If you still have anxiety about taking your back wheel off, I defunk that one. And then of course, make sure you're in tune for January's event series. So here are the 7 tips for you. I'm going to make it quick because, you know, as you notice, I can ramble on for a while. The first one, so first of 7 is to limit your alcohol. I would never tell you not to have a good time, but sometimes if you're like me, I'm getting older, and alcohol affects me way differently now than when I was like 20, 30, maybe even 40. And the thing is that I've just come to a point where, you know, is it worth having a day off because I'm so hungover? No. So, I mean, enjoy the party, limit your alcohol, reduce it. Remember, make sure you're drinking some water at the same time, so that you don't do it. The next one, number 2, is eat. This one's my favorite. Eat before going to an event. If you're lucky enough to go to a party, eat, and like maybe eat half a meal, like one of your, like a healthier meal, or have a meal replacement shake like I love to do before going to the event, so that you're already semi-full and you can enjoy a couple snacks but not eat everything. You know what I mean? Never go to a party hungry. It's like going to the grocery store hungry. Don't do it. Number 3, if you're going to be eating at supper, ask for a smaller plate. You don't have to go with the big serving plate, you know, like, and that, you know, it doesn't mean that you have to fill it up either. So sometimes going for a smaller plate is better because there's less space. And don't go for seconds. Number 4, make sure you get a good night's sleep. Now, guys, I bought a Fitbit Versa 2, and off of points from my Visa, which was amazing. And it has an amazing sleep tracker. And I have been becoming more fascinated with sleep because it is kind of like the center of your health. If you're not well rested, if you're overtired, that's when like everything literally falls apart. Stress is higher. You don't have energy. Your mood is shitty. So sleep plays a big role. And I've been getting into tracking my sleep and kind of understanding more about the different cycles of your sleep. I'll tell you one really cool thing. If you have one of these, I use it for my alarm clock now. And the cool thing about it, guys, is that everybody, audience, is that, so I put my alarm on during the week. I get up at 5 o'clock every morning because I like to have an hour to myself, whether I want to, you know, catch up on emails or do some journaling, do some reading. I just sit with my little energy drink and my lemon water, and I just love the downtime. But the thing about the alarm, and I used to have an alarm clock. I don't use my phone. Nothing electronic goes into the bedroom. That's another rule. But my alarm is set for 5. But what it does is it wakes me up where I am, my body, anywhere between half an hour, like between 4:30 and 5. It'll wake me up at that time. But the reason why it gives that time is that it's waiting for my sleep cycle for me to come out of a deep sleep. So, like when your alarm goes off and you could be in the deepest sleep and you like either don't listen to it or you hit the snooze button half a dozen times. So imagine if you were to like naturally, like it would buzz you when it feels like you're coming out of your sleep zone and you're actually awake and ready to get out of bed. It has been like a bit of a game changer. I won't lie, because it actually rings on my, like it vibrates on my wrist. So my alarm clock doesn't go off and doesn't disturb my husband. So I can just slip out of bed and he can continue sleeping. So that's one game changer thing. But the thing is that I'm not startled. I'm not stressed. Like it's, that like, oh my God, my alarm clock's going off, or I don't have to worry about like having to turn it off or remember to turn it off. I really, really like this. Anyways, that was, so number 4 was sleep. So check out Fitbit Versa. If you have one, let's just chat about the sleep component on it. I think it's amazing. Number 2, stay active. I always get everybody out for a walk. We have a little circle here. You might have like around the block something. Moving after a big meal is huge. Like getting everything moving takes like 10 minutes. Walk to the end of the stop sign and back or something. Get some fresh air, move the food around. If you can, like maybe you're not going to exercise like you would typically, but getting in like an online yoga for 30 minutes, something not stressful. Like, you don't want to sweat and you just want to do some stretching, some zenning out, or make sure you walk once a day. That's not hard to add. And if nobody's going to go with you, who freaking cares? Do it yourself. Okay. That's all I have to say. Because it's not about them. It's about you. And you have to remember that it's about you. They don't live in your body. You don't live in their body. And if they're overweight and crusty and unhappy, well, shit, make sure you're like getting out and do your walk, because you don't want to be like them. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Number 6, set your intentions for 2022. What are they? Don't make them so out of reach and unattainable, because that is like the first step to it not happening. You know what I mean? To failure is when it's good to set goals and dreams that are really big, but when you're going to say like, here's a typical New Year's resolution, right? I'm going to get healthy. I'm going to quit smoking. I'm going to quit drinking. But it's such a like an on-off switch. Like if you've never been active and now you're like, okay, I'm going to lose 100 pounds, and it doesn't fall off in the 30 days, then you get depressed, right? 100 pounds. You have to envision yourself over at least 2 years, at least one, to lose that kind of weight, right? It took a long time to put on. It's going to take a long time to get off. So setting intentional goals. And here's, so number 7 is part of that intentional goals is setting 4 goals. Okay. So number 6 is just setting your intentions for 2022. Are you going to start getting active? Are you going to join a group? Are you going to, like, what is it that you really like to do? And the most important thing is to find a tribe of people who are doing it. If your immediate circle is not into what you want to do, you better find some new friends, because those people are going to drag you down and you will never attain what you want to do, because your circle of friends are not doing it or don't want to do it. So it's up to you to find new friends. Don't let go of those friends. Just stop hanging out with them because they're going to put you down. They're going to make fun of you. They want you to stay miserable just like them. And you don't want to be there, right? You have greater intentions for yourself and find a group, find a tribe, whether it's online, Facebook, in the gym, whatever, where it is, find a positive, motivating group. I have one. Message me if you're like really looking for something, because I have a great tribe and a fitness platform and everything that can really help you along, like get started. Now, number 7 is 4 goals. Okay, so this is for the whole year. Now, based on where you are in your relationship, set a goal. Based on where you are in your health, set a goal. Not for the 30 days, like over the year. Based on where you are in your finances, set a goal. Like, do you want to save $1,000? Do you want to save 10,000? Whatever. And then last one is where you are in your career or your work or school, set a goal. Okay. So these 4 things, and then sit down and start working backwards. Like, what do you need to do to attain that goal or those goals or each one of the goals? Remember, make it realistic, because if it's too big, it's too big. Or maybe you might just want to focus on one thing. Like mine, I have now whittled everything down to my fitness and this business project. So those are the 2 things that I'm going to focus on. I'm going to have to get rid of some other things, and that's okay, because these things really bring a lot of passion and happiness to my life. My wealth goal, that is to make some money in my business, to find my crypto account. I know. Yeah. I put money in like about 4 years ago, and I can't find the login. So yeah, who knows how much is sitting in there now. So I've got to go back through years of notebooks. I don't know where it is. Anyways, and also I pulled out money from my RSPs to invest. So I'm going to be working on that with my husband. So that's kind of a little project we're going to do. My health is completely on track. There's certain things I need to tweak, and I have some goals for the summer. So I need to make sure my training and all my hours are realistically in my schedule, and I can attain them. And then my relationship, well, that needs some big work. I won't lie. And you shouldn't lie to yourself if things aren't going well. Okay. Relationships are 100% work, and they're 100% worth it if you're in a good one. I'm in an amazing one. I've been divorced once. I don't plan on ever doing that again. And now it's time to get my head out of my ass and like really put some effort. Because yeah, it's my fault. It's not all my fault, but there's things that I need to do and we need to do together. Let's not lie. We're both at fault. And I guess it's, it's like that 10, 11 year, time frame where things start shifting, right? And you have to expect that people in relationships change. And they're not really changing, but things have changed. As your kids get older, things change. So, you have to keep working at it. So with that, everyone, I hope those 7 tips help you. 1 is alcohol. 2 is eat better. 3 is your portion size. 4 is sleep. 5 is getting active daily. 6 is setting your intentions. And number 7 is goal setting. So I'm going to take my own advice, not just dish it out to you, because I'm not perfect. Don't forget the free downloads on askcoachsylvie.ca. Go get them. And the January series, make sure you're subscribed for that, and have yourself a Merry Christmas. Love and hug your family. I hope that you're able to go see everybody this year, depending on where you are. It's so important to feel that hug and those embraces, and and love and laugh and, just be humans again. So with that, don't forget to follow me on social media and also the podcast, Secrets from the Saddle podcast on Instagram. And I love you guys. And I will see you back for the last episode before the new year. Yeah, no, maybe I'll give you some tips for your New Year's Eve. Have a great one. Love you so much. Be good. Happy holidays. Safe travels. Mwah. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for spending this time with me on the Secrets from the Saddle podcast, learning more about sighting people, places, and things that make cycling such an exciting sport. I am so glad you stopped by today. Please leave me a review if you feel so moved to do so. I would love to hear your feedback. And if you could take 1 second to share this episode with someone you think would enjoy it, I would be forever grateful. Also, if you could please leave me a review if you feel so moved by going to iTunes and leaving me an honest thought and an honest comment, telling me what you think, and most importantly, tell me what you'd like to hear more of. It would really help me to bring more great, inspiring cycling stories to you. Until then, have an amazing day. Make sure you ride your bike. And don't forget to visit my YouTube channel if you'd like to see the full version of this podcast live.